Hi everyone, and thank you for watching. This video, I'm going to talk about messiahs, cataclysms, and astrological ages. An astrological age is approximately 2,000 years, but they can be longer or shorter depending on the sign, because signs are different sizes. And with the astrological ages and messiahs, messiahs, I'm referring to people that are worshipped or highly revered by the world over. And what this means in the whole bigger scheme of things. I think you're going to learn some really valuable information by listening to this and paying attention to who different messiahs were for each age. There's 12 ages, and it's cyclic, it starts over. Ages go backwards. With astrology, usually other transits, they go forward, like from Aries all the way to Pisces, but with ages, they go backwards. So it's kind of interesting when you start looking into it. And what you're going to see is that different messiahs overlap and gain information from previous messiahs. And even some messiahs aren't even like from this world, like they're considered to be alien or like something that's not human. So it's going to be very interesting. And what you're going to notice is that we're going to go from in the flesh, prophet, God, alien, and just variations. It's going to constantly change and transform. And it's really interesting once you start looking at it and comparing it. And my hopes for you in this video is that you can take the information, compare it, contrast it, discern on what it means to you. Like, is this really an alien? Is this really a prophet? Is this really someone ordained by God? Are these stories connected? Are these stories based on whoever was in political power at the time? All some very interesting questions, and I think that the information that I'm going to set forth in this video is going to really open your mind to a whole lot of this. So I hope you enjoy, and let's do this video. All right. Ages last around 2,000 years. They can give great insights and speculative leverage about the Earth's past and present realities, Earth's rulership and governing paradigms, and even our origins, evolution, and de-evolutions. Looking at each age's summary one by one, but as a whole, makes our reality and purposes that much more clearer. Ages go backwards. Aries is usually the first sign of the zodiac, and it ends with Pisces. But with ages, they go backwards, like from Pisces backward all the way around to Aries, and in a cycle like that. Let's take a trip from this age we're in now, which is arguably Aquarius, or it may have just started in Aquarius. And we're going to go backwards from Aquarius to Pisces to Aries. We're going to keep going around, and I'm going to compare, contrast, and discern the prevailing God narrative. Sometimes they're not even God. Sometimes they're other things of each of these times or ages. I'm providing you as accurate information as I can research at the moment. And I'm going to speculate heavily to connect some dots. So let's start with the age of Aquarius, the age that we're in now. So basically, I'm going to tell you what the age of Aquarius is about, and going to kind of do some speculation and maybe even some predictions of what's to be and what's going to happen. So the age of Aquarius. So I'm reading some information from an astrologer. I've accredited the information to her in the below comment. So check it out if you want to read this for yourself. And I'm also injecting some of my own beliefs and thoughts and information in on this. So Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus. Uranus is an unpredictable, shake 'em up, futuristic type of planet. So that, it represents Aquarius. Well, it represents part of Aquarius. Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn, which is structure and hardship. So it begins with freedom fighters and truth seekers. That's what this Aquarius, freedom fighters, truth seekers. Exciting is the old bondage of Piscean deception. The old that we just left from the age of Pisces, and part of it was deception. That's what a lot of people ignore. There's a lot of deception going on there, secrecy, and it's very well known for organized religions such as Christianity. Christianity is like the epitome of the age of Pisces. Replaced with the desire for harmony, truth, and humanitarian causes, marching strongly through the gates of the great age of Aquarius. This air sign represents a revolutionary period that ushers in a society of reformers who will see an absolute reunification of all things, from a Messiah influence whose pattern is reflected in the planet Pluto as reformer and promised reunification. Pluto is like a blow everything up just to start over new, fresh, and better type of planet. Pluto is intense. And however, a warning should be sounded loud and clear, as all is not as it seems. There is great deception that also takes place with this misplaced confidence. So with anything, there's a yin and a yang, and there's a good and bad. So even with this great age of Aquarius, with all these good things that are going to happen or expected to happen, you got to be ready for the anti-good, or the enemy, the opposition. Truth and freedom will eventually reign paramount during this great age. The symbol for Aquarius is the water bearer pouring out water, which is truth as enlightenment from the heavens. And it's an air sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius represents astrology, astronomy, outer space, space travel, science, and extraterrestrials. The great age of Aquarius may very well bring in the kings of the East, which are astrologers. An astrologer wrote this, so, maybe she's speaking her truth. The great spirits will then pour wisdom down from on high, and the truth will be written upon every heart. So Aquarius is like a master, I guess you can call it a master air sign. It's an impersonal air sign. It cares for so many people, I guess it can't be personal. Libra is a very personal air sign, which it cares for a few people intensely, but Aquarius cares for everyone. It's looking out for everyone. It wants everyone to be good. But when you got a lot of friends, you can't tend to each of their needs in a deep way. Found in this great age is the unification of all people and countries around the globe, and an end to the traditions that have held humankind in bondage for so long. Religion will be deemed a detriment to society and harmful to soul ascension. The knowledge of the age will be unlike any earthly traditional doctrine and dogma. For the wisdom forthcoming will emanate from the highest heavenly air sign of them all, Aquarius. Opposite Aquarius is the fire sign Leo. In the zodiac, for every sign directly across, there's another sign, which is, I guess you can think of it as its opposite. But if you have a plus, you got to have a minus. If you have a dark, you need a light. And they still complement each other. It's not a bad thing. It's just what you got to have. And the sign of Leo is indicating a possible destruction of all things by fire and the millennium judgment of all things. The country and people representing that great age of Aquarius will be the American freedom fighters, eliminating all that is no longer useful or beneficial. Again, I didn't write this, and I don't know if I agree with it, but they are an astrologer, so maybe they looked up the astrology chart for the United States and they can see the role that the United States plays, so I guess I'm going to trust them on that. And U.S. is a young country, about 400 years old, which is a pretty young country, versus like Rome, the great Roman Empire, which was very, very old, like some thousands of years old compared to a couple of hundred years, like the United States. And we'll see like how that works out if United States is going to continue to be the forerunners of society of the planet Earth. It's believable, but just want to throw that in there. So now let's go into, so before I finish talking about Aquarius, with Aquarius, we're due up a Messiah. For every age, there's usually a Messiah. Like, for example, the last age of Messiah was Jesus Christ or Allah. It's organized. Pisces is organized religions and secret societies. There's probably some messiahs that are on the negative end that we never knew about, but they exist this whole time, and only like the people that followed that they were aware of it, that it existed. It could be that, but yeah, we're due up a Messiah for the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius supposedly started, it's debatable. Some think the cusp started like a couple, like 100 years ago when we started getting airplanes and stuff. But the actual transition point, some think that it was 2012. So that's debatable. So if it's 2012, then we're kind of due up a Messiah, and maybe the Messiah was born in 2012. Maybe the Messiah hasn't learned or gotten acquainted with the earth enough to start doing Messiah stuff and really making the reforms. Or maybe everything's happening right now. I mean, keep in mind what's going on in the world right now, and all of these heavy emotional incidents can very well manifest a Messiah. Because, again, we talked about the age of Aquarius being the Plutonian incidents that really kick it off, and Pluto is about tearing everything down and rebuilding in a real powerful way. So it's gonna be ugly before it can get good. So maybe this is going on right now. Everything's real ugly and preparing to get good or preparing to be rebuilt. So again, a lot of speculation about the age of Aquarius. We're at the beginning, so we're talking about the future, so it's very much speculation. So now let's talk about the age of Pisces, which has already happened. So we can just kind of look back and kind of say, yeah, that's right, or nah, I don't agree with that. So let me read this excerpt. Pisces, ruled by Neptune. Neptune is a nebulous planet. It kind of confuses things. It's very high octave spirituality, where you bring your dreams to reality, and you see things for what you want them to be in a good way versus what they actually are. So it can confuse things, but at the same time, it can get rid of biases that keep us separated. So it's it's much, much bigger than that, but I'm gonna just leave it at that with my explanation. So it's a water sign. Pisces is a water sign. Both it's a deceiver and the deceived. So it can deceive and it can be deceived easily. The pattern for the entire age of Pisces reflects deception and mystery, as well as servitude. So the whole age of Pisces has been a mysterious era. And a lot of questions and things that no one maybe question. And the age of Aquarius is gonna answer a lot of those questions. It's gonna bring light to a lot of that darkness that the age of Pisces brought. Now, the animal representing Pisces is a fish or two fish on a string swimming in opposite directions. The raising of Jesus Christ as the venerated God who ruled the age of Pisces, with the opposing sign Virgo representing the Virgin Mother of Jesus, formed an entire religion created around these astrological patterns. So with the religion of Christianity, there's astrology in there, there's past belief systems, and that they were just kind of transferred down and repackaged into the Christian, the whole Christian belief system. And I say all of that to say that it wasn't all the Christian stuff that you get if you're a Christian or a learner of it. Some of it is just add-on stuff, like, okay, this sounds good, let me add this on to. Okay, this sounds good, let me add this on to. Or this fits what I want to, the message I want to give, so let me add this on to. So the sign of Pisces also represents inspiration, artistic endeavors, baptisms by water, and the suffering of martyrs. Pisces rules the 12th house of the zodiac, which is, 12 houses, Pisces house. So it's very much, those are Pisces attributes and characteristics in that whole 12th house. The first house is like Aries attributes and characteristics. And this house, it has a dark side of suffering and silent pain. And the Dark Ages were very typical of this pattern, right up to and including the Civil War. Rome and Christianity represents the country and the movement of the Great Age of Pisces, which ends with the shocking revelation of truth and light from the God of the Age of Aquarius, exposing the deceptions of this great age. So we're in the Age of Aquarius, and we're going to learn a lot of stuff that went wrong, or what we were deceived in during the Age of Pisces, this past 2,000 years. So we're gonna learn a lot of stuff that was secret, that was hidden, that we never knew that was hidden or whatnot. So now let's go to the next age. Oh yeah, let me talk about this real quick before I go to the next age of Aries. Now, as you'll see, many Christians and other religions, the concepts are allegorical and come from earlier dominant ideologies in previous ages. It's like, I just said it a moment ago, they take what was useful from a previous working system and they add it into their system and claim it as their own. And, it's kind of a pattern. So I want you to pay attention to that, because it's going to be really important as we go further and further in discussing these things. So the age of Aries. Age of Aries. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is the god of war. It's a very intense, Mars is a forceful, masculine, super masculine planet. And it's a fire sign of combat. It's fiery, so it's, it doesn't wait for things to happen. It makes things happen. Combat, warriors, leaders, good and bad, wars, Babylon, Moses, Marduk, Yahweh, and Alexander the Great. The sacrificial animal, as well as the animal representing the sign of Aries, was or is the ram and the sheep. And because Aries is a fire sign, we have the burning bush and fiery chariots. The killing of sacrificial animals and the bloody sentiments of these sacrifices involved knives. So back during this time, knives and swords was one of the main killing instruments, and that's a very Martian type of weapon. Or, Mars is about weapons that cut, which are prominent representations of Aries and Mars. The planet Mars astrologically represents weapons of all kinds, as well as killing of humans as well as animals. Opposite the fire sign of Aries, remember we have a polarity always, is the air sign of Libra. Aries is you initiating, you is all about me. Libra is all about someone else. And it indicates the scales of balance and justice instituted as laws, which would bring about balance and justice if followed. These same laws are still in existence in modern times, known as the common laws of the land. Israel, Jerusalem, and the Jews represented the country and the people of the great ages Age of Aquarius, the Age of Aries. The Age of Aries was coming to a close with the rise of Julius Caesar and indicated an end to the Age of Aries. So with Aries, one of the great messiahs of this time was Marduk. Also Yahweh. Some people think Marduk was Yahweh. Moses. Babylon was a very prominent area during this time period, during the Age of Aries. So let's talk about Marduk. Marduk was a Babylonian leader, very prominent person during this time, an icon of that era. Keep in mind that a lot of these religious prophets are just, icons, that their iconship just keeps carrying over time. It becomes legend for maybe sometimes the wrong reasons, sometimes the right reasons, and it's about legacy, and the winner gets to make the history, that type of thing. So Marduk is part of the Babylonian creation story. And the Babylonian creation story mirrors the Sumerians' creation story, which goes back even further. We're going to talk about the Sumerian creation stories later and their people. So we've left gods, and we're just about starting to talk about aliens in a moment. So keep your seatbelts buckled. Like all Anunnaki, he's speculated to not be a regular human, but an alien or even a god. Now, I have a feeling that, like Jesus, he was an icon of sorts that got attributed supernatural qualities through popularity. And what I mean by that is, I think it's just they're regular people that really did some great things and had this huge influence, and no one ever wanted to forget it. And power structure that was put in place just really wanted to crystallize that into the psyche of people for a very long time, create a myth, and never let this die out. And over time, people die and born and die, and these stories just turn into just legendary, just tremendous myths that may not be rooted in truth. That's just my thoughts. Now, another thing about Marduk, which is very controversial, is Marduk is not only a person, but also a planet. Do you know about, and even this is controversial, some say it's not true, some say it is true, but Marduk is the planet Nibiru. You know about the story of Nibiru, where the Anunnaki supposedly come from? And Nibiru, what the long story short with that, Nibiru has a long orbit, and it comes in sight to where we can see it into our solar system every 3,600 years. And when it came in back then, it's a long time ago, I don't have the date, it hit a planet called Tiamat, which is no longer exists, because Tiamat was between the planet Mars and Jupiter, and Tiamat is now the asteroid belt because the planet Nibiru hit Tiamat. And when Nibiru hit Tiamat, it broke off and made the asteroid belt, and it made the planet Earth. So planet Earth used to be Tiamat. Planet Earth supposedly was half of it's Tiamat, and the rest of Earth is in that asteroid belt in between Mars and Jupiter. So we're gonna stop here and stay tuned for the second half of this video. It's gonna be very interesting. Make sure you catch it. And I love you all. You take care of yourself. Make sure you catch that part 2. One love. I'm out.